In this video, you'll see some of the craziest Guinness records in history. Nothing better describes how human beings can push themselves beyond the limit than what you're about to see. Number 10. The world's largest skateboard. Who doesn't like skateboard racing? I guess we all enjoy taking a skateboard ride, but how about racing on the same skateboard as 10 other people? Sounds amazing to say the least. But such a dream could never have been realized to many if not for the efforts of Joe Ciaglia and Rob Dyrdek. These two legends took the internet by storm in 2009 when they designed and produced the world's largest skateboard. The duo, who are passionate about skate parks design and construction, set out to construct a skateboard that was 11.14 meters long by 1.1 meters wide, and in just 9 months they had already assembled this giant skateboard. It is estimated that this skateboard is about 12 times the size of a standard board. Indeed, this was huge enough to feature in the Guinness records. Well, if you're a fan of skating, probably this would be one opportunity for you to try a new ride. Number 9. The heaviest weight lifted by a human tongue. Weightlifting is essential in keeping us fit and strengthening different parts of our bodies. But how about lifting weight using your tongue? Have you ever thought of something like that? Much as it sounds crazy, one man in Mexico surprised the world when he chose the only secret into the Guinness World Records would be lifting weights using his tongue. That's right, Thomas Blackthorne lifted 12.5 kilos of weight with his tongue. Thomas had his tongue pierced and hooked into a box full of pasta weighing 12.5 kilos. And he managed to lift the whole 12.5 kilos in 2008 with the strength of his tongue for 5 seconds without sustaining any injuries. The first time he broke the record was in 2004 when he lifted 11 kilos, and since then no one else has even ever taken on the challenge except Blackthorne himself, who pushed the limit further in 2008 when he lifted 12.5 kilos. Seems this guy must have undergone rigorous training and pain before taking on the challenge. Number 8. The most one-handed push-ups. It will take you more pain and sweating, if not several days of practice, to do just 100 one-arm push-ups in one session. But that did not stop this man from West Midlands, UK to push himself beyond the limits and complete over 5,000 one-arm push-ups in 5 hours. Paddy Doyle completed 5,260 one-arm push-ups in 5 hours. That equates to slightly over 1,000 one-arm push-ups each hour. Paddy Doyle has set several records, some of which have remained hard to break to date. And as a result, his efforts have had him earn the title for the world's fittest man. He set the record for the most push-ups in a year after completing just about 1.5 million push-ups from October 1988 to October 1989. He has raced the fastest with loads on his back, cycled the fastest, among many other records. Number 7. Most atomic blasts survived. I believe you've heard of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki atomic bomb attacks during the Second World War. Obviously, the chances of survival for the tragedy were very minimal. And if you survived, chances are that you ended up with serious complications. I don't know whether to call it bad luck or good luck for this one man. But Tsutomu Yamaguchi must have been a lucky man to survive all the 2 blasts on separate occasions. And surprisingly, the man lived up to 93 years when he died in 2010. The Japanese engineer, who was only 29 years old then, was preparing to leave Hiroshima after a 3-month business trip when the atomic bomb fell. And even though the explosion left Yamaguchi with serious burns and ruptured eardrums, it did not stop him from his mission. Yamaguchi continued with his planned journey back to his home city Nagasaki to report back to work. Sadly, after 3 days when Yamaguchi was reporting to his supervisor, a mega atomic bomb hit Nagasaki City. Lucky enough, our man wasn't hurt this time around. He was recognized in 2009 by the Guinness Book of Records as the only person who survived the 2 bombings. Number 6. Pulling an airplane. You probably have seen people doing some sports activities and questioned yourself about the limit of human strength. And yes, I can confidently confirm that human strength is limited. But human beings have not stopped pushing beyond the limit. And one man who will forever be remembered for his astonishing strength is priest Kevin Fast. Though he managed to lift and pull huge loads, one instance that still remains in the mind of many is when he chose to pull an airplane in 2009. Kevin managed to pull an airplane over a length of 8.8 meters and even claimed he could have gone further if there hadn't been a finish line. Kevin has broken several records using his strength, including lifting a car by his arms, pulling trucks, among others. Number 5. The most struck by lightning. Lightning is considered the main cause of storm-related deaths in the US. Rarely will someone hit by lightning survive, and should they survive, they sustain serious brain damage as a result. But for Roy Sullivan, being struck by lightning has become the norm. Roy, a port ranger in Virginia, was recognized by Guinness World Records after being struck by lightning 7 times in his life. And even though each encounter with the lightning was a near-death experience, Roy managed to survive all 7 strikes on different occasions. Were it not for Guinness World Records documenting all the scary moments, most of us would never believe how such terrible things can happen to one man. Number 4. The tallest man alive. You probably have met tall people, and that's okay. But I guess you've not met an incredibly tall person. Now, Sultan Kösen is one man you should meet. He is the record holder for the world's tallest person at a shocking height of 2.5 meters tall. The Turkish farmer was recognized by Guinness World Records in 2010 after surpassing Bao Zixun, the previous title holder, by 20 centimeters. Sultan's huge height is said to have been caused by a condition called acromegaly and gigantism, which are associated with cancer growth that affects the pituitary gland. Sultan would probably be taller than he is today, but thanks to Virginia University Medical School for treating Sultan's tumor in 2010. Sultan first came into the limelight when someone recruited him to play basketball. Sadly, his condition would not allow him to practice well. But lucky for him, the world got to notice that he was much taller than anyone else. Number 3. Eating airplanes. Michel Lotito took 2 years to eat a complete Cessna 150. This earned him a spot in the Guinness Book of Records for having the strangest diet in the world. Lotito is said to have spent his life eating a lot of things that are considered indigestible and of no nutritional value to the body. As a result, he was nicknamed Monsieur Mange-Tout. From metals, glass, rubber, beds to computers, Lotito has had a taste of all these things, and surprisingly, he has never incurred injury as a result. Lotito was diagnosed with a rare condition called pica, which is characterized by having an extreme appetite for things that do not have any nutritional value. Doctors also found that his stomach lining was so thick that he could not be injured by the sharp objects that he consumed. Sadly, Lotito died in 2007 due to natural causes. Number 2. Most lawsuits filed. Jonathan is reported to have filed over 4,000 lawsuits in various US courts, suing several major companies and prominent individuals. In fact, he even sued Guinness World Records for listing him as the most litigious man, demanding his name to be removed from the records. After serving his sentence in prison, Jonathan was released in 2012 and began his endless series of lawsuits. In his lifetime, he has sued prominent people like billionaire Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, President Bush, and even Pope Benedict XVI. Number 1. The most world records. I guess this list would be incomplete without this one. Yes, Guinness World Records has a special title for the person with the most world records. New York-based champion Ashrita Furman has pushed beyond the human limit doing unbelievable things, which have earned him the record for most titles in the Guinness World Records. Over the years, Ashrita has been at the heart of his life to break as many records as possible, and sure enough, he achieved his dream. Today, Ashrita holds 200 records, but in fact he has broken over 550 records in his life, only that 350 of them have been taken away from him. But as you can tell, the world will have to push harder to take away the remaining 200 records from Ashrita. His journey started in 1979 when he was a store manager in Brooklyn, New York. He went on to do many other activities, including the longest underwater cycling, fastest mile on a kangaroo ball, among others. And throughout, he kept winning and winning.